Welcome, everybody. Okay, let us see. Testing. Good. Welcome to this recap of the Minnesota Vikings win question mark over the Jacksonville Jaguars 12-7. I've been trying to think about what to say for this game. I don't know. I mean, as I go along, we'll see. I mean, I got a couple things off the top of my head, of course, that a lot of Viking Nation has on their minds right now. But here's what I'll say. We got the win. First and foremost, we got the win. We're 7-2. We should be tied at first right now, but Texans couldn't hold on to the damn lead. So, it is what it is. But not like, Lions are probably going to win the North anyways, but it's just good to at least, still try to play for that contention for the North. All the points today came from Mr. John Parker Romo, who we signed in the offseason. He was in a kicking battle with Will Reichard, who we drafted. And, when you draft a kicker, that's, even though it's a kicker battle, you're going to go with the kicker that you drafted. And then Will Reichard, of course, put on IR after the Colts game where he pulled like something. So John Parker Romo, XFL kicker, in a tough situation, outdoors in the humidity, nailing each and every field goal that he had to make. All of his field goals. What was his longest? I think his longest field goal was like a 40-something yard field goal, if I'm not mistaken. 40. His first one was, I think the longest was a 45-yard field goal. Of course, holding my breath on that one, but that one that wasn't the close one. The close one, I think, was the last. Might have been the last. No, I think it was the second to last one where it just went inside the upright. But the second field goal for John Parker Romo, that was a 33-yard field goal, so basically an extra point attempt. The third field goal by Parker Romo, that was a 34-yard field goal. And then the one to make it needing a touchdown is a 29-yard field goal. So it got progressively easier as the game went on. But, Parker Romo, knowing that all the pressure was on him because the offense could not do anything. Well, sorry. Let me not say that. The offense was definitely doing things. It's just that a certain someone decided just to turn over the ball every single chance getting deep in the red zone. Sam Darnold, we'll get to him in just one moment because I do want to shout out a lot of the rest of the team. Aaron Jones, 17 carries, 88 yards, had to go off for a little bit, took a shot to the ribs, but then came back in. The reason he had to take the cart was because of the exit room was on the other side. So that's why he took the cart. And they didn't know how bad the injury was, so didn't want him walking. So that's why he took the cart. So, and then Cam Akers, Ned didn't really do as well as last week. He had 13 carries for 38 yards. So, but the star offensive players on Sunday were TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver, the two tight ends. And I think we're going to have to rely. The tight ends making a huge difference. Josh Oliver, 4 catches, 52 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 8 catches, 72 yards. TJ Hawkinson, almost all of the catches were on third down. And he just converted third down after third down after third down. It was like Sam Darnold's like go-to guy. And he was Mr. Reliable on Sunday because Jaguars were committed to covering Justin Jefferson, and that worked out. Justin Jefferson only had 5 catches for 48 yards. Addison, 2 catches, 25 yards. So, so really, when you have all those people on the field, Jaguars left the tight ends in one-on-one situations, and that's just what's worked out. So having T.J. Hawkinson back was huge. So in regards to the defense, of course, that's the main star of the game. Only allowing 7 points, allowed one decent drive for the Jaguars, and Mac Jones got the rushing touchdown. So there's a touchdown for him. But overall, they did a great job getting to Mac Jones 3 times, Cashman, Ivan Pace, and Andrew Van Ginkel. Meanwhile, we did get a couple of interceptions from Byron Murphy and Cam Bynum. And meanwhile, they also turned over a third time with the snap, Mac Jones fumble, and Harrison Phillips recovering. So defense across the board did a great job. Only holding the Mac Jones to 111 yards, zero passing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. ETN only had 44 yards on the day. Their leading receiver was Evan Ingram. So a big day for the tight ends in this game. So and the Jaguars managed to get to Sam Darnold once, which was Trayvon Walker. So yeah. Vikings offensive. Now, before we get to Sam Darnold, we'll talk about the offensive line. Offensive line. There is one person we got to mention for the offensive line who did not have a good day. And no, for people wondering, it is not Mr. Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram, I can't believe I'm saying this, had actually an okay day. But of course, at the end of the day, it's still the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is still the Jacksonville Jaguars at the end of the day. But it was Cam Robinson. I mean, no shocker. Cam Robinson, he did have a great day against the Colts, but against his former team, that was sort of like which one would prevail. He knows the Jaguars, but Jaguars also know him. And the Jaguars knowing him, they took advantage of that. And Cam Robinson did not have a good day. He allowed the sack against Trayvon Walker, and just he had a very, very bad day. But we'll see coming against the Tennessee Titans, a team who's also familiar with, just like the Colts. So maybe he'll do better then. That is going to be at Tennessee. So we'll see about that. But the rest of the offensive line had a pretty decent day. Again, I'm not letting Ed Ingram off the hook just for one decent game. But we still need to make a change there. But Ed Ingram will survive most likely another week. As for Sam Darnold, I've had time to think about this. 24-38, 241, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. One of the interceptions should have been called back, but it is what it is. And the other interception, the other 2 interceptions, all the interceptions trying to force it to Jefferson. There is more than just Justin Jefferson on this team. And you cannot just say, there is such thing as like F it ball, at the end of the game. If it's like at the end of the game and, you just have to hope for a miracle, yeah, you can do what Kirk Cousins did on 4th and 18 against the Bills and do something like that. But this, no. All those interceptions, you try to get it to Jefferson, and Jaguars were committed to covering Jefferson, and that's all they did, which is why T.J. Hawkins got so wide open, and Josh Oliver got so wide open. So why weren't Sam Darnold? Why wasn't he throwing it to T.J. Hawkinson and Josh Oliver? Why? Those things can be prevented. You knew that the Jaguars were gonna sell on Justin Jefferson, but at the end of the day, you don't. At the end, but you still try to get it to him when you know he's going to be covered, and I just don't understand that. And this is now 2 games with I think I think he had he had 2 or 3 interceptions against the Colts, whatever. But this is just 2 very bad games from Sam Darnold now, and you throw in the Jets game from before the bye week. I mean, this is getting very concerning now. So I'm sorry. I had to use an example, and that's the first one I had. That's the one prime example I had to think. Of, where I mean, that we've done it in desperate situations, but Sam Darnold was not in a desperate situation this game. You didn't have to force a Jefferson, so Another situation where I would have liked the Vikings to throw a desperate ball was against the Giants in the wild card game, but just Kirk Cousins did what he did, like he did against the Saints, and threw a check down. He's Mr. Check Down, and he's gonna do that. But I would have liked Kirk Cousins in the wild card game to just launch it to Justin Jefferson, double coverage, and see what would have happened there. But that was the one time where Kirk Cousins actually decided to chuck it deep on fourth down, and it actually worked. But Kirk Cousins is not a quarterback anymore. It is Sam Darnold. Will we go to Nick Mullins? I do not know. As we know, Nick Mullins is also very high variance. So is that going to be much? I mean, how much? I mean, that's going to be high I mean, is it gonna be much of a difference? I don't know. I mean, not. I mean, I guess not really. But I will say though, if JJ McCarthy was healthy, he would be in right now. He would have been in. Kevin O'Connell, after that second interception or third interception, would have put JJ McCarthy in. I bet you not. I bet you. But we have Nick Mullins, who's almost the exact same thing. Even though I was calling for Nick Mullins to be in, it was just because Sam Darnold was just not having a good. He was just like in a very bad funk, and you just need something different. Nick Mullins, maybe he can do what he can against the Raiders. Didn't throw an interception against the Raiders when in replacement of Josh Dobbs, like coming as he's a relief quarterback. So still have Sam Darnold. I still think, you still have Sam Darnold start, but if you see him starting game bad in the middle of the game, you need to put in Nick Mullins as a relief quarterback. I mean, he has came in for one play during this season against the Jets. He threw that wonderful 20-yard pass to Aaron Jones, put him in the right place. Aaron Jones, right place, right time, and came down with it. So I wouldn't mind going with that game plan. Sam Darnold starts to go off the tracks a little bit. You have to pull the cord on that game and put Nick Mullins in. So we're sort of getting to that point. Next week we're playing the Titans, a team who we should beat. Are we going to beat? I mean, a team that we should beat, but it's I think it might be similar to like this type of game. Titans have a good defense. Unlike the Jaguars, even though we only put up 12 points against them, we should have put up more points. But Sam Darnold again throwing those red zone interceptions. So we'll see. We might have another game like this. It might be like 17-14 or something like that. I do expect Sam Darnold to be a little bit better. I mean, can't really get much worse than this, I hope. But Titans, not a great team. Not a great team. It is a game we need to win in order to get into the playoffs. I think we will. I mean, at this point, we'll probably make the playoffs. at at right now it's 7-2. Especially if we win next week, okay, I think we're definitely can make the playoffs. Now, competing for the division, no, 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 no. Um, After these last two performances, I don't think competing for the division is going to be the key. But trying to get a high wild card spot is going to have to be the key. I've sort of reserved that we're not going to win the NFC North, but but you know, I mean, hey, if we can stay competitive, I mean, till the end, that would be great. But you know, it just is what it is. But maybe it'll work out for the Vikings. If you get the fifth seed, you do play the worst division winner. Yeah, it'll be on the road, but maybe you could finesse something. I'm trying to basically, I've been trying to convince myself maybe the five seed, would be the best thing. And maybe, Lion somehow, some ways, the Lions could get knocked out in the divisional round by maybe like the Packers or something, or the Packers, or whoever the sixth, or whoever that other wild card seed is. And then, and then no, you play like let's say the Vikings play the Cardinals in the wild card. You beat the Cardinals, and you maybe, you go to the let's just say the Packers beat the Packers get this. I'm just trying to do the math here. The Packers, let's say they get like the sixth seed, and they have to go to like the no the let's just say they go to the Falcons, and then they beat the Falcons, and then we would go at the Commanders, and Packers would go at the Lions, and then we beat the Commanders. I'm assuming in this case, Commanders win the NFC East and get second seed. We beat the Commanders, and then the Packers beat the Lions, and we can play at home against the Packers NFC Championship game. So, you know, I'm just trying to convince myself that that is the way that'll work out for us in the end by getting the five seeds, so that we can maybe that someone else can maybe knock out the Lions, so that we can have a shot at making a Super Bowl and having a potential Bills Vikings Super Bowl. So if like right now, I'm thinking like looking at the playoffs right now, the Bills should should make the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have been a very pain. I mean, the Chiefs have been a very pain in the side of so many teams, especially especially all the AFC teams, beating the Ravens, beating the Bengals, even though the Bengals have won one in the past against the Chiefs. But someone's going to have to take down the Chiefs. I don't. The Chiefs look very vulnerable. I think this actually could be the year that someone does take down the Chiefs in the playoffs. Maybe even earlier than the conference championship round. But someone's going to do it. Whether it's the Bills, whether it's the Ravens, it's going to be one of those two. Um, yeah, I just think. I think, of course, the Bills. The Chiefs. Yeah, that's great. I mean, the Bills have beaten the Chiefs. The Bills have beaten the Chiefs a lot of times during the regular season. That's the thing. That is the thing. The thing though that just to get over the hump is to beat them in the playoffs, because playoffs are a different game. You gotta understand, playoffs are a different game. Chiefs have been in that situation so many times, and they somehow to like crack the code and at least making in making that difference. I mean, you should have, of course, had the one should have beat the Chiefs. That one time. Um, it's just like and I'm sorry. I know Leslie Frazier was my coach at one point. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, for that moment. I'm like, when I was watching that, I'm like, yeah, that's Leslie Frazier for you. So, um, but I think I truly think this can be the year. This can actually be the year. Um, I mean, the Chiefs have a well-oiled machine, but we'll see. But in the NFC side, it's the Lions. It's the Lions to lose. I think the Packers probably have the best chance to. We might too, but the two toughest opponents for Lions in the postseason would be any division team, whether it's the Vikings or the Packers. I do think they would maybe have a tougher time against the Packers. I don't know. That's just maybe my thinking of it. In a postseason sense, because Commanders are they're flying very high right now. So are the Eagles, in my opinion. But like the teams who are in the playoff picture right now for the NFC, it looking like for the most part, looking at the NFC playoff picture. And I know it's early. It's sort of early, but if you look at the playoff picture, and I do have faith. Yes, I do have faith in the Bills. Let me share my screen. Where is it? There we go. Like looking at the playoff picture right now, yes, if the Bills beat the Chiefs, the Chiefs would just have to win all their games. But it would help out. I keep forgetting I have to change the backgrounds. Boom. There we go. So this is sort of what I'm saying. If the Vikings right now, they play the Cardinals, then Commanders at the Falcons, and then Green Bay at the Eagles. And then on the other side, it would be the Broncos at the Bills. Bills easily get that one. Chargers, Steelers, so that'd be a good one. And then Texans, Ravens, even though in Houston, I trust the Ravens a lot more. So who knows? And then looking on the outside, of course, you got San Fran. They're even though they're not great right now. They are getting CMC back. So maybe, and they're also having some kicking troubles right now. So, but they're doing okay. Maybe they'll get back in the picture. But Bears are not worried about. Rams, the rest of these teams are not really worried about. So, I think the NFC is very top heavy with these teams. I guess you could say maybe, yeah. But then you also have the 49ers. So, in regards to the AFC, I think a lot of these teams are probably the teams I expect to make it in. Maybe the Bengals can maybe slide in here instead of the Broncos. Bengals. Yeah, I'm looking at these other teams. Yeah, the Bengals probably have the best chance to unseat one of these teams. For Perna, of course, it wouldn't be great for him, but for playoff atmosphere and for NFL ratings, Bengals getting in that spot, getting like in the 7th seed. Bengals, maybe you get Bengals, Bills, or maybe if they move up to the 6th seed, maybe you get Bengals, Steelers. I don't know. So, but that is very far down the road. This is just what it is right now. But I think Vikings are in a very good position to hold on to a wild card spot. And I think just the goal is maybe just to try to at least get the highest wild card spot possible. The Commanders losing against the Steelers was very helpful. Yes, it wasn't a conference game, but I don't know why is it doing that. It helped out a lot. So basically, Vikings just got to keep on rocking and rolling. Just as long as you make the dance, that's all you care about. Yes, having the number 1 seed is fine. Winning division is fine, but Don't worry about what the Lions, as I'm saying, yeah, anything can happen. Just like, hey, don't worry. I mean, yes, of course, you want the Chiefs, like, for example, the Bills. You want the Chiefs to lose. You basically have the division wrapped up. It's going to be any week now. You know, beat the Chiefs, and then you just got to control what you got to do. And then Chiefs, all they have to do is lose one more game. If the Bills beat the Chiefs, if you want the number one seed, you should just focus on what you need to do. With the Vikings, if you can stay competitive with the Lions, cool. But the goal is make the playoffs, and anything can happen from there. So, all I say is don't focus what other teams are doing. Even though, yes, it's nice to see, nice to get some help, but you can only control what you can do, and that's just a fact. And that, folks, that is just a fact of life. It's just also a good life lesson. You can't worry about what others are gonna do. You can only control what you can do. As long as you do everything that you can do, that's all that matters. So, yeah. So just a good all around lesson, not just football, but just a life lesson. So, yeah. So we're trying to improve upon next week. Just take our steps, improve on next week, beat Tennessee, and try to move to 8-2. Same thing with like the Bills. Win, and you're one step closer to getting that number one seed, home field advantage. Amazing. So, yeah. So, Vikings, even though it was ugly, they won, and we know we can win better. We can do better than this. We can win better than this. So, yeah. So, I want to thank everyone. Thank you guys for coming out here, hearing me ramble on and all that stuff. So, I can't wait. We're gonna be doing this. Yeah, next stream. So, yeah. Yo, Luke, sorry, you're sort of catching the end of this. But Ed Ingram. The only thing I know. I actually, I'm just gonna say it right now, so you don't have to go back. Ed Ingram played okay. But of course, it's the Jaguars. Cam Robinson was the weak spot on the offensive line, but of course, he's playing his former team. So, but Ed Ingram, I'm not giving him a pass for the pass just because he played okay. I'm not giving him a pass just because he played okay for one game. One game does not erase everything you did throughout your whole career so far. So that's all I gotta say on Ed Ingram. Vikings still need to make the change, but after one okay game, Vikings still need to make the change. You have Dalton Meissner, just start him, but you're not going to do that, especially this next week, because it is what it is. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, we just gotta get better. Sam Darnold needs to be better. Yeah, Sam Darnold needs to be better, and the Vikings defense just keep doing what they're doing. So that's pretty much all I can say on that. But thank you all for watching. Vikings win 12-7. This has been Adam, also known as Minnesota Vikings Man 28. And as always, Skull.